I think there is one shot in all of cinema history that everyone remembers from their childhood. It's this shot from E.T. Classic. So, I'm gonna recreate it. I'll be using practical effects, miniatures, camera tricks, and a green screen, all to recreate one of the most iconic shots in cinema history. There it is, that little blob of light in the sky behind those clouds, that's the moon. The first step to recreating this shot is filming the moon. The only problem is that it was hiding. There's a full moon once every 30 days, and this day was cloudy. So, I need to wait until April 1st. And I'll just have to hope that it'll be a clear night. But that's just one of the problems. This is a very zoomed in shot of the moon. But this is not. So I'm gonna need a different lens.
What it was we actually shot the moon rising with a 1,000 millimeter lens.
A 1,000 millimeter lens. That might not be easy to find. What I'm talking about is this number right here. This number is called focal length, and the bigger it is, the longer the lens, meaning more zoomed in. And the longest lens I have is a 125 millimeter. A 1,000 millimeter lens is pretty rare. Oh my goodness. And expensive. That is crazy expensive. If I couldn't get 1,000 millimeters, I had to at least get close. Okay, there's some more options, and these aren't the worst, which led me to my solution. Why should I use the more expensive 800 instead of the 600? With a 1.4 times converter, what? This little piece of glass called an extender. The way it works is pretty simple. You put it on the camera first, and then whatever lens you're using is magnified. I was able to find a 2x extender, meaning all I'd need is a 500 millimeter lens, which would be magnified 2x, making it a 1,000 millimeter lens. And now, all I needed was a clear night. Well, that doesn't look good. That didn't stop me from trying, though.
This is kind of impossible. I mean, I can't see the moon at all. Like, it's just too cloudy. I can't even find it. I don't even know if I'm in focus. This is ridiculous.
It was cold and late. I don't really know what I was expecting to see.
Ooh, there it is. There it is.
And as soon as I found it, it disappeared again.
Yeah, well, I think that's it. I tried.
But before I had tried any of this, I already kinda knew it was a long shot.
I need to wait until April 1st. Or I do it fake.
No matter how many times I try this, it could always end up cloudy on the night of the full moon. But immediately when thinking about this shot, I remembered those moon lamps and thought, what if I made it a miniature? And I just really love miniatures. I just use them to solve all my filmmaking problems. To do this, we're likely going to need to modify one of those moon lamps to get full control of the lighting. We'll need some way to get the biking kid into the miniature, likely involving quite a bit of compositing. That just leaves the ground in these trees, and although it might not seem like it, the trees are definitely the hardest part. But let's begin with the moon. I found 2 different moon lamps and decided to order both, just in case. The spherical one is what I was initially picturing.
There we go. Man, that is not bright.
It's also pretty small. Miniatures actually look better the bigger they are because you can get more detail into a larger miniature. That's why you'll see giant miniatures in the behind the scenes of movies. And that's why, for The Lord of the Rings, they actually called them bigatures.
Ah. Wait, it's just like one strip of light. In truth, neither one of these is very good.
No matter what, I'd need to make some modifications.
But I think we can modify this one to be better.
All I needed to do was take out the old lights.
Oh. Well, no wonder it sucks.
Then set up the moon. And light it myself using the Amaran Halo 60X. Then to get rid of all this light on the table, I used an Amaran Mini Fresnel to shape it. It's not perfect, but it'll definitely work. So now on to those trees. This isn't my first time building a miniature tree. I made some when I recreated shots from Stranger Things earlier this year. Well, Obsessed over them. I spent like 15 to 20 hours just on the trees. Anyways, I made them using these pre-made plastic tree armatures and this stuff called clump foliage.
That is so bad.
But it won't work. Trees have leaves and branches, and in this shot, areas where you can see the moon behind it. And this tree doesn't have any of that. It's kinda just a fluffy stick. So let's learn how to make miniature trees. So we'll need to start with the branches, obviously, and it looks like there's a really simple way to do it. We'll start by buying a fiber air filter, which has all these little wires in it. Paint it black, cut it into small pieces, and attach that to a dowel and build a sort of tree structure. Then, of course, we need leaves, so we'll spray that with spray glue, then add some fine turf to it. Seems pretty easy.
That's not so bad, but it's still not great.
So, first, it's definitely too small. I could get the tree closer to the camera, but then the moon is out of focus. We'll talk about that later. Remember, bigger miniatures are better. The other thing is that this tree still kind of looks fluffy. Trees need sunlight, so their branches go upwards to better reach it. But this tree has branches growing in a bunch of different directions, so it just seems like fluff. But I thought this tree could be good enough. It's better than the first one. We just need to make a bigger one. But as I was scrolling through YouTube, I came across a video. And I saw just how beautiful miniature trees could be. I had to try one last time. The perfect miniature tree begins at the trunk. A finely shaved balsa wood dowel, perfectly imperfect. 20 gauge wire is cut into lengths of 1 to 4 inches, dabbed in super glue and neatly placed into the balsa wood. Longer to shorter, up the tree. 7mm static grass straw makes the many branches of the tree. After getting an even coat of gray, 3 passes of 2mm medium green static grass makes the leaves. The result? Immaculate. Exquisite.
That's a freaking tree. Like, holy crap. So, in the middle of shooting this video, my wife and I decided to move to our very first house, actually. And look at how big this garage is.
So we have the moon and 1 tree. We're definitely gonna need some more trees. But not only that, we're also gonna need the ground. What I'm seeing here are 2 layers. There's a patch way out in front and then a hill in the back. For miniatures, I use this insulation foam and a hot wire to cut it into shape. After cutting my 2 hills, I used a rotary tool to sand them down and shape them, glued on a bunch of turf, spray painted them, glued down some static grass, got the trees into place, and the miniature was complete. Almost. We still need the blue sky. To do that, I'm actually using a white background lit with an LED tube, the Amaran T4C. I'm using a tube to get an even light across the backdrop, and the T4C is RGB, so it can change color to be blue. And with all that, we have the first part of our shot. With a little post-processing, of course. So now, how are we going to get someone on a bike flying through the air in front of it? Let's break it down. So first, we're obviously gonna need a bike. Luckily, I have one in storage. Unluckily, it needs a bit of a tune-up. Then, I'll need a costume. It looks pretty simple, just a gray sweatshirt, some sort of textured cape, and a sheet for ET. Oh, and speaking of a sheet for ET, we're gonna need an ET. Well, we don't need an ET, but I think we should get one. It's a cardboard cutout, 7-inch action figure. Well, shoot. That's not good. Oh, right, yeah. I should probably tell you how we're gonna get a full-sized human into the miniature. Well, it's the same way they did it. Green screen. Well, they technically use blue screen, but still. The beauty of green screen or blue screen is that I don't actually have to be biking around to make it look like I'm flying through the air. All I need to do is digitally move the footage of me on the bike across the footage of the miniature, then key out the green. Only issue is that I'll need to be pedaling like in the original, so we need a way to keep the bike in place.
So we just checked the nearby, wait, what am I saying?
Finding this bike stand was actually really hard. We checked Target and Sierra.
It's not in the store.
We ended up finding that Best Buy might have some, so...
Which doesn't make any sense, but
yeah, I don't know why Best Buy would have those, but...
I guess.
They didn't. We're looking for something called a bike trainer. It turns any bike into an indoor exercise bike. And apparently they're hard to find. So hard to find that I guess they only keep them in the back. So now we got our bike trainer.
There it is.
And we got it with the bra.
Maybe you're wondering why he's in a bra. Well, after finding nothing on Amazon, we began looking for ET dolls on eBay. This one has a bikini on. Does not come with bra accessory. Please do message if interested in accessory.
So we're gonna message, right?
I'm tempted now. Hey, we just purchased this ET plush and we noticed the bra. We have to ask, any chance we can get that accessory? Let us know. So shout out to Astroboss on eBay for getting us that bra. And now that we have everything we need, it's time to get the shot. We started by getting the bike trainer in place and setting it up with the bike. We tied a milk crate to the front and then put our ET doll inside, covered by a blanket. But we noticed an issue. The green screen didn't really fully cover me, but we can easily solve this using the same logic that allows you to get a person in front of the moon. A longer lens from a camera further away. It was getting dark and our timing was perfect to get this shot. In post, I just moved myself across the frame, and finally, we have the most iconic shot in cinema.